the four people Tail talked about. Do you think he was talking about the spirit that was sealed inside that mask? Oh, hey, you were pretty good out there. Have you done this before, or what? You could say so. Now, just to keep up that pace and save the other three. Hey! All that stuff I did to you, your horse, I apologize. Sorry. There, I apologize, so don't hold it against me, got it? Now then, we've helped the princess just like the monkey asked. So now our next stop is in the mountains. Let's hurry and do something about that skull kid. Well, technically, Tattle, we haven't helped the princess yet. Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. In the last part, we finished up the Woodfall Temple, and now Woodfall Swamp is cleared. With that said, there's still some lingering threats to take care of here in the swamp, such as the princess. What? Who are you? Link, pleased to meet you. I'm the Deku Princess. Were you by chance asked by that monkey to come save me? Aha! Just as I suspected. You see, your body smells a little bit like monkey. So, the monkey made it back fine after all. That's good. I was worried that when I didn't come home, my father would think that monkey had kidnapped me. I was worried that my father would even go so far as to punish the poor monkey. Oh, bad news. Don't tell me. Are you serious? Is father actually doing that? Yet another hasty decision, father. Well, we haven't any time to lose. Quickly, Mr. Link, could you please find something to carry me in so you can take me to the Deku Palace? There's a joke to be made here about jars. I'm not gonna be the one to make it. You put the Deku Princess in a bottle. It's a tight fit, but she says she'll be fine if you hurry. You see to let her out. Mr. Link, there's no time to lose. Hurry, take me to the palace. How did she even fit in there? So that's actually why I just emptied that fairy out for seemingly no reason. You do need to actively put her in there in order to actually, get stuff done around here. With that said, before we take her over there, I want to use the Song of Soaring and actually head back to the owl statue behind the temple. Because now that we have all of the stray fairies, we can restore the Great Fairy for the Southern Swamp to their full power. On top of that, something I actually don't do, but I recommend you do. At least now, I don't do it yet. There's actually a piece of heart in this area. In particular, it is the chest, if you look on the mini-map, at the very top right. Not the one, next to the northern exit. It's the one slightly to the right of that. You can get that now. I forget to get that until a little later because I was prioritizing other things. Particularly because I was a little bit on a bit of a timer here because you might remember the thief that stole the bomb lady's bag at midnight on the first day in the first 3-day cycle. We want to go take care of that this 3-day cycle. Oh, strong young one, I am the Great Fairy of Power. Thank you for returning my broken and shattered body to normal. As thanks, I grant you prowess with this new sword technique. You mastered the spin attack. Press and hold B to power your weapon with magic. When you release B, your sword will release a whirlwind of energy as you spin around. To stir up energy quickly without having to charge your weapon, rotate the analog stick once and press B. Come see me again whenever you are overcome by weariness. So what this does is that it now gives us the red energy wave spin attack from Ocarina of Time. If you do the circle way to do a spin attack, you actually do that without using magic, so that's pretty good. With that said, in Majora's Mask 3D, they notably swapped the first 2 dungeon Great Fairies around, so you don't get the better spin attack until after the second dungeon in 3D. Instead, you get the second power-up we're going to get in a few parts here, which I'd say is ultimately for the better. That's a pretty good upgrade to get that early in 3D. I actually also kind of wish they swapped some other ones around, to be honest, in some regards, so I can get a certain something earlier, just so it has more of a time to be useful, but oh well. Again, before you Song of Soaring, go get that piece of heart so you have it earlier. Before we head to Clocktown, though, let's actually speed our way back to the Deku Palace and get the princess there as soon as we can. You technically don't ever, I think, need to do this. You can just ignore her and move on with the plot even. But in order to get 100%, you do need to do this for a couple of reasons, actually. I told you not to enter any chambers, blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna go past you. Goodbye, Deku Guard. I have a princess to free from a bottle. And I think you actually do need to let her out in front of her dad. Oh, are you waiting, Mr. Link?
How about that? Hot, isn't it? The monkey shall suffer and suffer till he can suffer no more. You shall know the wrath of a king whose darling princess was taken away from him.
Calm down, buddy. You're really blaming the wrong person.
Oh, my princess. My darling princess, you are all right? I was so worried.
Foolish father!
What are you doing? Let that monkey go this instant!
Oh, Mr. Monkey, I'm truly sorry. Father does such rash things when he's worried about me.
I understand, Princess. Forget about that. Has the temple been returned to normal?
Why, yes, thanks to Mr. Link here. I'm very, truly grateful.
Really? So you're called Link, are you? Thank you for keeping your promise to me.
No problem.
As a symbol of our gratitude, our butler has prepared a little something for you. Please accept it. You'll find it in the shrine that'll be to your right when you leave the palace.
And that's how that resolves. So, honestly, overall, kind of peaceful. With that said, I believe if you try to leave the Deku Palace at any point during this, you still technically have to deal with the guards at the gardens. So, if you want to go get that piece of heart that we got earlier, at this point you can, but you still have to deal with them. So now, let's just head back. I technically actually should have talked to them for a little more conclusion to the plotline there, but oh well. And we're just gonna wait for this thief to try to steal that old lady's bag again. And I might as well get some minor rupee grinding done in the meanwhile. Hey, like every 9 rupees, that's 10 rupees every like 10 to 15 in-game minutes, I think. There is also a minigame you can technically do at this point before it hits midnight over at the post office in West Clocktown. But I'm deciding not to do that until later, on top of the fact I always get something slightly wrong about that particular minigame as well, but we'll talk more about that down the line. But I am going to press the timer a little bit because there's actually an item we can go get at the bathing area on any of the 3 nights, I believe, here in Clocktown. Because the good old windmill man's here.
La 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 la, they said I was too loud when I practiced in my room. They got mad. Now I'm sad. I'll just stay here all night and get away from their pad. And you are a child, so you must go to bed.
Guru Guru, the traveling musician, was added to your notebook. You actually can only get the other if you talk to him as Hylian Link.
La la la, they said I was much too loud when I practiced in my room. They got mad. Now I'm sad. I'll just think about the past to keep my mind off the bad. Ah, yes, I'll do that. Dear guest, long ago I was in an animal troop with dogs and donkeys and such. Why could a man join? That's 'cause man is an animal too, my boy. They were all great, but there was one thing I didn't like about it. Why was the dog the leader? Was it because something was wrong with me, sir? Oh, that dog was an amazing leader. He always had such a stellar troop, no matter what animals he had to work with. That's why I stole it. The dog's mask, I stole it. I wanted it because it was the leader's mask. But I no longer need it. I give it to my guest.
Okay, we've got the Bremen mask. This mask belonged to the leader of an animal troop. Try parading it around tiny young animals.
The leader was a good instructor. His members matured quickly and they became adults in an instant.
You listened to his confession of guilt. This was added to your notebook. So the Bremen mask is mostly for two particular purposes in the game. If you equip it, your B button becomes the march button, where you just kind of march at the ocarina and play kind of a catchy tune. But animals will follow behind you, including any dogs you can find throughout the game. Not that that really serves a purpose. It's more or less for unlocking another mask down the line, as well as a little bit of a trick in a boss fight of sorts. There might be something else that I'm completely forgetting about too now I think about it. I'll have to look into that. For now though, let's get back to North Clocktown and just kind of wait out the last 10 in-game minutes-ish. I've always found something kind of annoying in that the little lines on the clock don't really translate to like 5 to 10 minute intervals. That is one thing I'll give Majora's Mask 3D. While this clock definitely has more personality, the straight lines that are just divided into 6-hour chunks on the bottom of the top screen of the 3DS was definitely better for organization, because you could actually tell how much more was left in the day overall. Also, thinking on it, I think I'm actually a little wrong about the Bremen mask. I think you'd only get it on the first 2 nights. I think Guru has fled the town on the night of the 3rd day. But, oh well. That's still plenty of opportunity. So here you can see one of the problems with the Song of Inverse Time. It slows down schedule movements as well, so the old lady moves very slowly, as will the thief when he tries to go run into her. This is supposedly one of the main reasons why the Song of Inverse Time halves the speed of things in the 3DS version, because combined with the frame rate stuff, NPC movements would get bugged at 30% speed at 30 frames per second or something like that. Particularly with the major quest I'll be dealing with towards the end of the game.
Be very quiet. He's hunting bomb bags.
Engaging. So now we can actively stop this thief now that we have the sword. In fact, I've seen since we have the arrow as well, you can do a completely different version of the scene I don't show off, where you outright kill the man. But in order to get the reward from this, we just need to hit him with our sword. Hitting with an arrow does not work out well for the side quest in the long run.
Thank you. Since he didn't make off with them, I can finally stock bomb bags at our shop. Maybe I'll put them out tomorrow. Yes, I must thank you. It's a dangerous mask, but maybe you could use it to throw your own festival fireworks show.
And for doing that, we get the Blast Mask, where it would see, you can have a blast with me, but you'll lose life energy in the process.
Well, thanks for helping me. Take care.
The old lady from the bomb shop was added to your notebook. You guarded the old woman's luggage. This was added to your notebook. So the Blast Mask is pretty handy in that it's essentially a bomb you can use however many times you want that you have with you at all times. The big thing is if you explode with it by pressing the B button, you do take damage unless you're holding the shield out, which feels like it's an oversight, but oh well. The big thing with it is there is a cooldown on the Blast Mask. I think it's like 20 seconds-ish, 15 to 20, maybe 25. Less than half a minute either way. So you can use that to destroy walls, destroy blocks, whatever. Anything a bomb can do, this can do. With that said, that cooldown can be kind of annoying, and for that purpose, it is better to go get the main bombs. Also, these are the Roses Sisters, the twin dancers. They're clearly trying to dance. I think if you talk to them at the Stockpot Inn during the daytime, they're trying to figure out dance moves, but they can't exactly figure out what they're missing exactly. And I think they slightly foreshadow that you can do what we're about to do, but if we come over here towards North Termina Field, anytime between midnight and 4 a.m., I think, maybe 5 a.m., on the first 2 days. We got this little dude dancing over here with a very similar song.
I am no longer part of the living, my sadness to the moon. I haven't left my dance to the world. I am filled with regret.
Translation. I am disappointed, O Moon. I have died.
Oh, I planned to bring the world together and stir it into a giant melting pot with my dance. If only I taught someone my new dance.
The spirit dancer Kamara was added to your notebook. Just play the Song of Healing, that's what you need to do here. You should get used to playing this Song of Good, but you got to do it several times throughout the game.
Spread my dance across the world. Train its followers.
Translation. I have taught you. Now make it into a popular dance craze. We got the Kamaro's mask. Use it to teach his dance to the world so his moves can become as popular as he had hoped they would become.
I'm counting on you.
Translation. I'm counting on you. You became the dancer's successor. This was added to your notebook. I think if you talk to him again before playing the Song of Healing, he more deliberately says, I want my sorrows to be healed pretty directly. But, well, we don't need to worry about that. So now we can head back to the twin sisters. I think they're there both of the first 2 nights. And, let's try dancing to them. It looks like they're trying to do the same dance anyway. Also, I would recommend destroying some of the grass just found in Termina Field real quick at this point if you're low on arrows, just to restore some, because you can find arrows pretty regularly in grass either in Termina Field or near owl statues. Because there's a particular crystal switch we're going to be dealing with coming up that you can hit with, say, the Deku's snot bubbles, but having an arrow for it would be handy, if only I had remembered that. Alright, let's get the Kamaro's mask out and dance in front of these two.
What the hell?
Thank you for teaching us those steps. You are our master.
And for doing that, you get a piece of heart. Cool. You stole the hearts of the dancers. This was added to your notebook. Thank you, thank you.
Master, you're so cool.
So, the Kamaro's mask is kind of funny in that you can just dance whenever and that song will play. And it is kind of funny just to take the mood out of some scenes by doing that when you're waiting. But I'm not going to really wear it ever again. Because admittedly, the Kamaro's mask is one of the several masks in the game that you get, and then you use to get a single piece of heart, and then you never really use again, barring one technical time you use it down the line. With that said, now that we got that done, that's all the time press stuff I had to worry about over here in Clocktown. So now let's go head back to the Deku Palace. Cause like the princess said, the butler has something for us, and the Deku Shrine over to the west side of the area, so let's head over there. I'm not sure what happens if you try to enter here beforehand, because I think the last time I tried to go here before taking out Woodfall Temple, that had to at least be like 2009 or 10, so well over a decade ago, and my memory's good. It ain't that good. Mind you, I guess thinking about it, my memory's also kind of situational to begin with. Hello, Butler.
Link, I'm truly thankful for what you've done for the princess. As a sign of our gratitude, we Deku prepared something that we think may assist you. I will lead you to it. Please, follow me.
So what we've got going on here is the Majora's Mask version and reuse of the Butler races from Kakariko Graveyard and Ocarina of Time. We have to follow him and make sure that we keep up a good pace with him, because at certain points when he goes through little gates, the doors will close, and if they close while you're behind the doors, or while you're not behind the doors, you get reset. There are going to be switches you have to press as well. You have to make sure you use the Deku well here, because otherwise, you're gonna fall behind. Using these spins pretty effective here. Additionally, you also could wait until the 3rd day of this cycle to get a very particular mask that speeds up Hylian Link's ground movement to make this a little easier. Because you can transform back into a Hylian and he will not question things whatsoever. But I can do it now, so I tend to do it now. There are some rupees you can get on either side, in some cases, to just get some extra money, but it's not really worth it. And notably, you can clear minigames like this multiple times if you want to come back to do them for some reason. In the N64 version, if you beat a minigame that usually gives you a unique item like a piece of heart or a mask, again on additional cycles, usually you just get rupees, usually 50. I think in at least a couple of cases you maybe get a 100 rupee variant. In the 3DS version, though, they actually changed the secondary reward usually to be a fishing hole pass, because in Ocarina, Majora's Mask 3D rather, they added a fishing hole like the one over in Lake Hylia in Ocarina that you can access in any of the 3 days to get special fish. And I think you can get some fish only at certain transformations and all that. It was kind of cool, but it wasn't really needed, mostly because fishing was the worst part of getting 100% in Ocarina to me. Just because I really don't like how that fish behaves. But I guess it's there, and I at least appreciate that they did add things to Majora's Mask 3D. In fact, one thing I really liked that they added that was the same from Ocarina of Time 3D. You can basically have 4 items at any point in time because the Ocarina was its own separate touchscreen thing. And I really appreciate that because that's less finagling with the menu over and over again. Because, like, I know some people bring up the 2D Zeldas, particularly like Link's Awakening, the Oracle games, and Minish Cap for having you go into the menu back and forth over and over again. The 3D games do it too, it's just you have more buttons, so you'd have to do it less. Well done, Link. Now here's the item I promised. Please, accept it. And we get the Mask of Sense. This mask heightens your sense of smell. Wear it with C to sharpen your olfactory perception. That's the smell of power. Actually, when I see you, I'm reminded of my son who left home long ago. Somehow, I feel as if I am once again racing with my son. I'm afraid I may have tried too hard to outrun you. As old as I am still a fast competitor, just like when I raced my son. Please forgive my rudeness. He had a son at some point? Wonder what happened to him. And they give you a nice little teleport hole out. The Mask of Sense, I'll talk more about its use towards the end of this 3-day cycle, because it's kind of not too good, but we gotta get it anyway for 100%. Also notably, like I mentioned before we did Woodfall Temple, if you clear Woodfall Temple, you can no longer turn in the pictograph contest. So me going back to Southern Swamp like I'm about to isn't as useful, but we'll talk more about why we're heading here next time. But with that, I'm gonna need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 7, we're gonna do some extraneous stuff across Termina now that we've beaten the first temple, before making our way in the direction of the second. See you guys then.